What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Thursday, September 30th to all of you. Thank you for watching Betting with the Bag right here on Pub Sports Radio. Coming off a middling 4-4 day, down 0.50 units. It hasn't been a very good week, and I expect to turn that around right here and right now. I have made 4 bets on the MLB card. I do have 2 sick children at home, so it's been a bit of a battle here on Jameson Avenue, and my old montage, a little bit of Kraken helps the medicine go down. Can't be used on children, so I don't know. Who knows what's going to happen here? But I'm a little stressed with not having more money coming in and having 2 sick kids to deal with. But I'm very thankful to be with you guys right here, right now, focusing on sports for as long as I can until I hear my son Carter screaming for titty. Thank you guys all so much for joining us. We got Brian Watson in the house, Sammy Calmer ready to get to work. Fap, win. Unleashing a load on the LA Angels money line. I get it. I think that the market is telling us that Glenn Otto is going to have a nice start. And I couldn't get the first 5 under 4.5. Only a 4 was available. But Cobb has been very good the last 2 months. And he had an unbelievable August. He's having a really good September. Only 2 starts, but a really good September. And I am backing him. I'm backing him. And I guess, when I say unbelievable August, why do I think that's not right? I guess that was an unbelievable July. Let me just go there right. The last thing I want to do is start off with saying something wrong here. Is that an unbelievable July that he had? Or was it in August? He had 4 starts in July before he went down to injury. So July, in 4 starts, he had a 1.09 ERA. He's come back in 2 starts in September, and he's allowed 1 earned run. Now, just 10 2/3. So I moved on him first 5. And one of the fuck-ups yesterday was that I took the Texas Rangers first 5 minus a half, because I didn't want I thought minus 130 was just too juicy. And that would have been a push. That would have given me a winning day. But I took the minus a half. So this time I did take him at minus 130 because I am expecting a low-scoring game. So that is hopeful that Fat Win is rolling with me. I did ride with you on Hootie the Blowfish as well at 2:46 in the morning a couple of days ago. God, it's been such a battle this week. Such a battle. Top Set in the house, Professor Chris, Ken in the house. There's Top Set. So great to see Top Set rolling with us. It's got a good feeling about tonight's slate. So do I. I love the slate. 12 MLB games. We have the 1 big college football game and 1 big NFL game to me. It's a huge game to me. Have a lot invested in tonight's Thursday nighter, which is always a very dangerous thing to do. And that's what we're focusing on, because we have Ian Cameron's Football Frenzy right after this show. Professor Chris says, I'm home from work with 2 sick kiddos, so naturally I have MLB action. Are you? That sounds just like me. I guess because the kids have gone back to school, so I guess that's the okay. Let me just check my mic, make sure the audio is. Yeah, this is yeah, I'm using this is my Yeti stereo microphone. Keep an eye on it, Jose, and tell me if anything changes, or because. Maybe you want me to? Should I switch it on and off? No, it's all good. Okay. Razor Sharp picks, nice 2-0 plus $612 day yesterday. Attaboy, Razor Sharp picks. Professor Chris, we got the same thing going on. And not COVID as well. So, Professor Chris, glad that your kids are healthy. So, don't have COVID. Either do my kids, but it's a battle. There's Viper MP in the house. Drew Daddy says, how do people live in the state of Wisconsin? Sucks out here. Ooh, cheese curds. That's how they get through it. Cheese curds. There is MKT a big cat 29-1 bomber from Razor Sharp picks yesterday in the horse racing show. Evan L back in action with us. Has been out of town, ready to get back to work. Love it. There's Matty Ice, Stardy Taint play of the day. Zachary says it's sounding tin. Is it still sounding tin-like? Shouldn't be sounding tin-like. It should be. Okay. But I got a thumbs up from Jose. Do I get a thumbs up backstage from Jose, or is thumbs up? Not quite. Okay, let me just. Really? What the fuck, man? Okay, let me get my. I'm going to switch off of this. So this is my computer. And then I'm going to go back to my microphone. Check. That's my microphone. Nothing? No difference?
Yeah, it still sounds a little tin-like they said, but yeah.
The fuck, man? The fuck, dude? All right. Just maybe add a little gain there. How about, man? A little there? Anybody? Fucking tin-like? What the fuck, man? All right. Okay, I apologize for that. I will look into that. Ryan Bottinelli in the house. Puzzler ready to get to work. Slick Rick the Ruler. Serious Business. Eric Jones. CT Bays. Luchase Fox. I didn't know you have 2 kids. That's awesome. Hope they feel better. Yes, I do. I have a 4-year-old and a 8-month-old. And it's great. Dodgers score 5 in the 8th inning. Nice work. That helped a lot with the spreadsheet play of the day for sure. That did not help. Okay, that did not help. All right. Muted. All right. This is not how I planned my. All right. All right. This is the Blue Yeti mic. So okay. Any better? Okay. Yeah, better. Okay. We're in business. Okay, let's focus back here. There's Matt Janning. Look at that. He's got a Euro League play for us. Oh, man, when he gives us these Euro League plays, this is a professional basketball player, and he knows these teams inside and out. Olimpia Milano plus 4.5 at home at CSKA. Milan is loaded with talent, should be in the mix for the title. Lots of value on home team in the season opener from Matt Janning. God, Matt, that sounds so sharp. Let's go. I'm going to copy and paste this right now. Matt Janning, Olimpia Milano plus 4.5 at home in their season opener from Matt Janning, who's plying his trade in Asia right now. Professional basketball player Matt Janning. That is a copy and paster right away. Thank you for sharing your hard work with us, Matt. My guy, Matt Janning. All right. They're all saying the computer is better. Mike still sounds off. Okay, good now? Good now. All right. 100%. Okay. Sorry, I don't know what was up, but thank you guys for letting me know. I'd hate to go through a whole show sounding like trash. Okay, let's get to work right now. TJ says, very specific question for you. Can you give me the tickets, cash numbers for the Minnesota Purdue over under? Thank you so much. All right. TJ, you put so much energy into the show, and for all of you that put so much energy into the show, I will stop everything for you 10 times out of 10. All right, so you want the Purdue, Minnesota cash over under. Now there's just 1,727 tickets in, TJ, so this is not a lot of help, and they're not giving us the ticket number on the total. But I can tell you that in this small sample size, 97% of the cash is on the over in Minnesota Purdue. 97% of the cash is on the over. All right, let's get to work. We have a 12-game MLB card. I have moved on 4 games. We only have 2 days left, today and tomorrow, of full MLB cards for us to cap together. Then we get into the playoffs. And I had a monster playoff year last season, but that was capping every game the night before, betting it the night before, and capping every game with Noli Knows, which was a big advantage. I'm not sure if this advantage I'm not sure what will happen this year. But I'm sitting here now in the last few days of the regular season, 345 wins, 316 losses, 52.2%, and that's not enough to cover the VIG. 7.77 units I'm down. ROI minus 1.18%. Average line minus 110. There's Nasty Nate in the house. Print department says Bengals. Yes, I'm on the Bengals too. Creo says we had a rough day. Betting-wise yesterday, baseball's just too unpredictable. One thing to cap a game wrong and lose, but to cap a game right and still lose, I just throw my hands up. I get that. Coke and Devil Folk Gaming says, will you be live again for college games Saturday? We have a great live show on Saturdays. Great live show starring Babano, Connor Mack, Big Ragu, and DJ Big Boss. That'll be every Saturday throughout the season. I'm going to focus on the Sunday morning NFL shows. That's going to be my focus. All right, let's get to work. Mark Schillingberg, Jared JB. Quick review of yesterday, 4-4 down 0.50 units. Cubs, Pittsburgh, first 5 under 4.5, easy casher. Milwaukee, St. Louis, first 5 under 4, easy casher. In the first inning, it didn't look like it was going to be easy casher. It was. Again, with Detroit, Minnesota, first 5 under 5. First inning looked terrible, but it was a casher. Then why did I double up on such a shit baseball team like the Texas Rangers? Makes me want to smash this computer and throw it out the window. Arizona, San Francisco over 8 was just a mistake. San Diego, LA Dodgers, first 5 under 4.5 was a tremendous mistake. And Mariners minus 105 was a casher. And our man Jose also cashed on the team total over 3.5. All right, let's go. We start at 1:15 p.m. Eastern. Milwaukee Brewers at St. Louis Cardinals. The Brew Crew 95-63, 50-27 on the road. St. Louis Cardinals 88-70, 43-34 at home. We're at Busch Stadium in St. Louis, Missouri. 80 Fahrenheit overcast. 6 miles per hour sideways in. Emily J. Blunt, great capper we haven't seen in too long. Thank you for being back in action with us. Bumgarner's last start of the season against his former team with journeyman Kazmir going for San Francisco. Arizona, long shot of the day. Wow, that is exciting. I'm going to copy and paste that. Now, I mean, Kazmir is going to be in there for an inning, 2 max. But I think that look is extremely exciting. So let me pop that. Thank you for sharing that with us, Emily J. Blunt. A very, very sharp capper who we haven't had on the show in too long. Okay. So this is a tricky game, Milwaukee, St. Louis, because you have these gas can lefties on the mound in Brett Anderson and J.A. Happ. 2 lefties that have not looked good of late. And you have a team in the Cards that's destroying lefties. Now, the Brewers aren't destroying lefties. You would look at these statistics. If this was 6 weeks ago, and you'd think, oh, this is an automatic over, first 5 over, full game over. But these teams don't have much to play for. And let's see if they have an announced lineup here. But the market began moving to the under, and it just stopped me in my tracks. It was funny. The first 5 actually moved from 4.5 to 5 at Sports Interaction. But Pinnacle moved the full game from 9 to 8.5. And I thought it's best to talk this game out with you guys. We have confirmed lineups for the Brewers: Urias, Adames, Escobar, Taylor, Narvaez, Hira, Peterson, Bradley. And you wonder why it's moving towards the under. For the Cards: Edman, Carlson, O'Neill, Arenado, DeYoung, Rondon, Carpenter, Neisner. These are weak lineups. Weak lineup. Slick Rick says wanted to move on St. Louis team total over 4.5, but still, so I just dropped the lineups. This is tricky. JL says I like the Brew Crew still. Billy Pilgrim says so far NFL dogs are 30-18. It's been a great year so far in NFL. It's so much fun. I can't wait for tonight. Okay, let's start with the pitcher breakdown. Go into the pitcher versus batter, but when you're going to take money out of your wallet and bet it on something, you want everything to correlate and line up. And look at TJ. TJ, this is a perfect example. TJ says, this has been my gift spot. St. Louis versus lefties, not today. And Sean Thompson going on the under. Eric Jones on the under. Spreadsheet plays of the day are in Angels and Boston minus 1.5. Angels and Boston minus 1.5. Let's pop this in right now and have this ready to go for these games. So Angels, that's the very next game. We're going to be capping together. I love it. And then we have the Red Sox Orioles game. All right, lock that in. Luchase Fox says Cardis are a better team, but I think the hangover from their 18 game streak being broken will keep me from betting them today. Never trust the Brewers, so pass. C-Rock says, what y'all think about the Jags tease to plus 14.5? Look, the market's moving towards the Jags. C-Rock, the market's moving towards the Jags, but I still believe, and maybe this is an error in judgment, and maybe this is a very public mistake, but I still believe this is the chance for Burrow and the Bengals to show the world just how good they are with all eyes on them. And this could be a huge mistake, but that's the way I see things. So, all right. And Kenny Can says, see Milwaukee said man broke his hand punching a wall at home. So silly. Yeah, after a celebration, comes home and punches a wall. And he's now out, and he's been so good this year. And he was just coming back from the IL. Bet Online also moved this full game total to 8.5. Puzzler makes a great point, and Nutflush Allen made that same point to me this morning. He says if a pitcher gets in trouble, neither team will want to burn up their bullpens to save a meaningless game. That is a great point. And Tim Montana X saying Dogs are 2-1 against spread in Thursday Night Football. I can't wait to talk about that game. Don't worry, we're going to beat that game up. But let's get through this 12-game MLB card here. So, Brett Anderson, 4.9, 4.30 ERA, 1.39 whip, 90 innings, 56 Ks, 27 walks, 10 home runs. Last start, he makes it through an inning and 2/3, 6 hits, 6 runs, just 2 of which were earned. 1 home run, 1 walk, 1 K, and a 10-2 loss at home versus the Cardinals. At home, he's been okay. 1-4, 3.77 ERA, 2.79 opponent's batting average. Lucky. On the road, a little worse, 3-5, 4.79 ERA, 2.81 opponent's batting average. CT Bates says Safety Bates is out along with T. Higgins for the Bengals. Can't lay a TD, but Cincinnati a nice teaser piece from CT Bates. I think it's going to be the Jamar Chase show. And Vite Brand B did take the over. J.A. Happ on the other side, 4-2, 3.97 ERA, 1.26 whip in 47 2/3 innings with the St. Louis Cardinals. He had a tough start to the year over in Minnesota. His last start was a 7-inning doubleheader at the Cubs, and he went 4 innings with 2 hits allowed, no earned runs, 4 walks, and 6 Ks. The Brewers versus lefties, 203, 661 OPS. They're not hitting. We already went over the Cards' monster numbers against lefties. The Brewers' bullpen's not look good, 4.84 ERA. I'm also on the over. Oh, you're talking football. I'm also on the over. I've got Bengals over, and I'm excited. Very, very excited. Brewers bullpen 4.84 ERA. Cards bullpen 2.97 ERA. Okay, let's move on to baseball data here. And God, it's a funny time of year. And this is a strange game when the stats tell you one thing, but the lineups come out and they're abysmal. I mean, let's not even talk about what Brett Anderson's numbers are against this team because they're bad. 352, 1.001 OPS. But look at Goldie. Goldie's 12 for 23 off him with 2 doubles and 2 homers, 7 RBIs, 4 walks, 522 average, 1.462 OPS, and he's not in the lineup. And then for J.A. Happ, they're hitting 281 with a 750 OPS off him. Sean Thompson, that's exactly what I want tonight. All right. So, JL, they killed me, man. It was my fault. Okay, so let's move on to the market, and then we'll look at where the cash lies in this spot. Again, popping off in just under 2 hours, afternoon action. This first 5 total is at 4.5. It did go up to 5 at Sports Interaction. I guess it got hammered towards the under because it's just 4.5s across the board right now. It's low. Full game here. We have 8.5s right across the board due to the lineup. Still they're not going to play their best pieces coming out of the bullpen. They're going to leave their starters in for too long. 6 miles per hour sideways, and I guess the weather doesn't help us. Let's take a look at the cash. Maybe this is just a stay away game. And look, I want afternoon action, and I've got it with the Angels, so I don't need to force things. We have 3,064 tickets in. 69% of the tickets, 88% of the cash on the Cards. And then you have 42% of tickets on the under and 51% of cash on the under. It looks like the under is the play. There's Ski Profit in the house. Great to see you, Ski, my guy. Professor Chris says Bengals will run the ball all night. I'd be hesitant to bet the over. It could also turn into, with Lawrence and Burrow and all eyes on them, it wouldn't shock me if they go for a couple big plays. Michael O'Brien, I hate hearing that. Let's get you back onto your winning ways. There's Birdie in the house. So, with all that being said, I don't want to have anything to do with this game. Again, if you're joining us right now, the lineups have come out. The Goldschmidt, who absolutely destroys Anderson, is not in the lineup. These are weak lineups. I don't trust either pitcher. The Taint play of the day is in, and I'm already on it. Makes me feel very good. And Nutflush says, Birdie, stay fire on NHL. If you guys don't enjoy these gifts from Birdie, you're crazy. And there's David Summers in the house. Love it. David Summers joining us. Okay, so, and if you guys aren't following David Summers in both NFL and college football, you are leaving money on the table. Let's just pop this Taint play of the day that I'm already on here at 7:40 p.m. Eastern. And we will go over the Taint play of the day in due time. But I can tell you that both and I don't know what Taint is before the show starts. We are both on Taint, baby. Taint. And Matty I's Taint plays that include the Tigers are 10-2. 10-2. And Professor Chris getting the Bengals game total at a shade under 40. It scares me. Look, it scares me, all you guys, what you're saying. I guess I've been kind of romanticizing this matchup between Lawrence and Burrow, but we're going to talk all about that game. So I can't move on this first game. It just doesn't correlate. It would be guessing. If I was to guess, I would still guess that runs are scored. But I'm not going to do that with these two lineups. So, Chosen One says, I've gone 7-1 tailing Birdie's NHL preseason that plays the last 2 days. I love it, Chosen One. And I love it, Birdie. And Birdie's Bird Nest Builder parlay will become a part of our show. Okay, we're going to move on here. Steve Priest, great to see you, Steve, says, first clients like Angels, Braves, Indians. So, we're moving past this Brew Crew Cardinals game that means nothing at all. And Hoops 590 giving us the ATP spot on Sonego at plus 140. We move on to 2:05 p.m. Eastern. LA Angels at Texas Rangers, Globe Life Field in Arlington, Texas. I expect the roof to be closed. It's hot in Texas today. And it's Cobb versus Otto. And you guys know, especially Viper. Viper, my man Vipe knows how much money I've lost on Alex Cobb. I'm starting to get a little bit of it back. It will never be enough to cover the losses that Cobb has cost me. Joshua Kiakanlaya in the house. Great to see you, Joshua. I am backing Cobb first 5. I got minus 130, which I thought was a pretty decent price. So decent that it scared me. And it's minus 125 right now. They're clearly stating that the Angels don't hit righties. 215, 637 OPS, and that Glenn Otto is going to have a good start. And he had a good start last out. 5 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 homer, 1 walk, 7 Ks, and 3-0 loss at the Orioles. And he showed 7 Ks, 1 walk. He showed that he's going to be a great pitcher. Michael O'Brien says, can you really trust any Angels? No, I can't. Sean Thompson says, fade Cobby wins, bet him the Angels don't hit. It was a mistake not being able to get the first 5 under 4.5. This full game has gone down a full run from 9 to 8. And I'm just not going to sit here with the ass end of the line. I wouldn't take the full game anyways, just because I don't trust the bullpens. But there's still 4.5s at Pinnacle, Heritage, UWager, Sports Interaction, but not Bet365. Viper says the total's gone under in 6 of Texas' last 8 games when playing at home versus the Angels. Gotta feel like that under 4 could even hit. But we also have the spreadsheet play of the day here on the Los Angeles Angels from our Ron Crawford backing the Angels. Ulysses Hayes says, I like Texas in this spot, moneyline Texas. Cobb, as I went over his numbers already, and they've been very, very good. His last few starts before he got hurt in July were amazing. Then he got hurt. He's come back. He's allowed 1 run in 10 2/3, but he has bad splits. At home, he's 5-1 with a 2.22 ERA, 192 opponent's batting average. On the road, 3-2 with a 4.99 ERA, 281 opponent's batting average. That would usually get me off of a play, but not at Globe Life Field. When you're pitching really well and you go into that pitcher's ballpark, why wouldn't it continue? I expect it to continue. Sean Thompson saying Otto slipping. Look, Otto looked bad there for a couple starts, but I thought he righted the ship. There with that loss to the Orioles. Steve Priest taking the Angels on the -1 line to get that plus score. I'm concerned. We're going to go into the baseball data, but I'm a little concerned here. Cobb's last start at home versus a hard-hitting Astros team, 5 2/3, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 3 walks, 4 Ks. He looked very good. And the bullpens are a bit of a struggle. Remo says, are the lineups out yet? They weren't out 10 minutes ago. Let's refresh and see if they're out now. Okay, it's just refreshing. I'll check in a second. All right, let's move over to the baseball data here in this spot. Against Cobb, they're hitting .357 with an 808 OPS, 10 for 28. That does concern me. Against Otto, 4 for 14 with just 4 singles, 286 average, 619 OPS. And no, the lineups are still not out yet. Chrisology likes a lot of unders today. Bill McDonald says Joe Burrow over 248 passing yards is money. And Professor Chris says Cobb is ranked high for me. And Oz B calling me La Bolsita. Nice to see you. Oz, my man. Sean Thompson says, I don't think Cobb is much improved. I do. Professor Chris says Cobb 3.33x fit with lots of ground balls and soft contact. I've been impressed with him, and I can hear Viper in my ear whenever I say anything good about Cobb. Kent Davies, it's been too long. Kent Davies rolling with us today on a Thursday. Thank you for joining us. Okay, let's move on to where the cash in the market lies here. And wow, Intertops has moved that first 5 to minus 120. Let's go to full game though and see what's going on here. We're using Pinnacle openers. And we have Cobb opening up at minus 125. He's now at minus 130 at Pinnacle. So a 5-cent move there. And a lot of minus 130s, but Sports Interaction has him at minus 150. Then we're going to go to the cash flow. And this could scare me. 2,395 tickets in, 80% of the tickets, 88% of the cash on the Angels, but not a big market move over towards them. Makes me nervous. Then you have 59% of tickets, 57% of cash on the over. And you can expect that those big bets came in at 8. Oh, okay. Sorry. Sean Thompson says, no, Jimmy, I agree. Cobb is much improved. Okay, beautiful. Thank you, Sean. That makes me much more confident. Okay. Steve Priest says, I'm seeing a lot of great cappers on Charlotte plus 10.5 versus Illinois on Saturday. Steve Priest, I will copy and paste that, and we'll talk about that game tomorrow, as Noli knows will be joining us once more. Okay, so I'm on the Angels' first 5. I still don't trust their bullpen, especially after a nice day yesterday when they used some key pieces. Ulysses Hayes is against me on the Texas money line. Can't wait for hockey, Ulysses. Can't wait to watch you rocking hockey. And Kent Davies, I get them from Sports Insights. It's expensive, but it's expensive if you look at it as a single purchase, but it's not expensive, Sports Insights, if you look at it compared to what a unit is for you. Then it's nothing. All right, we got the Birdies Bird Nest Builder NHL parlay of the day is up. Jose, can you highlight that? I'm going to copy and paste that right here. It is Bruins money line, Avs money line, Tampa Bay money line at plus 308. There is the Birdies Bird Nest parlay builder of the day, which we will be tracking all season long. We'll be tracking, and we will put together. I shouldn't say we, because it's my producer, Jose, who does such a great job with the graphics. We'll put together something cool for that. Okay, so, and Sean Thompson, just thinking about Charlotte plus 10.5. Kent Davis says Illinois is a garbage team. Okay, so let's move on. The spreadsheet play of the day is on the Angels. I'm on the Angels' first 5, and I'm a little nervous. About it. And then we move on to 6:35 p.m. Eastern. I was very interested in a first 5 under in this spot, but was hesitant to pull the trigger. Okay, let me check something out here. Okay, let's take a look at this spot here. Steele versus Miguel Yajure, Pride of Venezuela. We're in PNC Park in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. The Cubs are 29-48 on the road. Pirates are 35-42 at home. They've been a great bet at home all year. 69 Fahrenheit, clear 5 miles per hour out to right field. Justin Steele on the hill for the Cubs. 3-4, 4.86 ERA, 1.44 WHIP, 50 innings, 52 Ks, 26 walks, and 12 home runs. In his last start, he went 5 innings, 7 hits, 6 earned runs, 3 homers, 2 walks, 5 Ks, and an 8-5 loss at home versus the Cards in a 7-inning doubleheader that TJ was just making money off of, and I, for some reason, was just this fucking moose in the headlights, not moving on it. At home, he's been bad all year. 2-3, 6.07 ERA, 270 opponent's batting average, but he's been good on the road. 1-1, 3.10 ERA, 195 opponent's batting average. On the other side, we have a 23-year-old Venezuelan on the mound that we don't know a lot about. So who better to inform us on a young Venezuelan pitcher than our man, Jose Bouquet. Jose, thank you for joining us in this crucial spot. Miguel Yajure on the bump. Hello, you want to give a quick wave? Give a quick wave. They know that you're sick and you're trying to feel better. Okay, I got to work. I love you. Okay. See you later. Okay, a quick hello from Ella to bless our picks, and then we have Jose Bouquet here to inform us on this young Venezuelan pitcher.
I would also like to inform everyone that I've officially submitted today as a National Venezuelan Heritage Show for this show.
Okay.
This is not Venezuelan Heritage Show. I'm wearing my Caracas jersey right now. Represent for the hometown club. Love it. I've never seen them play. Learned they were a club a couple weeks ago. However, Miguel, my man Miguel here, Jimmy, he's 23. You knew me when I was a 23-year-old, Jimmy. What was I like when I was a 23-year-old?
You were a sloppy mess.
Exactly. I was a sloppy mess. I was not a winning capper back then.
No.
Now I am at 24. And from what I know of Miguel, I don't think he's a winning capper, Jimmy. I don't think he is. I'm looking at his baseball savant right now. 91 average fastball velocity. That's not making it move for me. That's not doing it for me. 6 pitches for Miguel: fastball, changeup, cutter, slider, curveball, sinker. So he's got an arsenal. He's got a little bit of an arsenal. You know, He's not bad. He pitched for the Yankees too. Came over from the Yankees squad. Probably a Rule 5 guy if I had to guess, because the Yankees seem to lose a lot of those guys. He's got a good fastball. But actually, I should take that back. He has a shitty fastball, very shitty fastball. Average against fastball is his fastball 364 with a 1 dot slugging and a 6 WOBA. He also has shitty facial hair and he looks like a baby. So I'm going to take all that into my account, and I'm going to say that in the Venezuelan scale, I'm going to say he's a 6 out of 10.
Interesting. And then I wanted to hear your breakdown, because he's not looked good in a small sample size here in the show. And we have another young Venezuelan on the mound later on today. In split between single A and triple A, 2-4, 3.40 ERA, 1.11 whip, 45 Ks and 47 in a third with just 14 walks. He looked good. Then he's come up and he's not looked good. His last start, 3 2/3, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 homers, 2 walks, 2 Ks, and 8-6 loss at the Phillies. Even clips from him in spring training, he was striking out batter after batter. He looked very strong with his junk. He's got a lot of movement. But now that he's in the show and pitchers know that his fastball can't beat you, got to get into a fastball count. Don't swing at these pitches with a ton of movement. He is getting hit. So you would not endorse a first 5 under 4.5?
Not today. This is not the guy. Unfortunately, Jimmy, Venezuela exports a lot of baseball players. Not many of them seem to be pitchers. We had my king, my GOAT, the last perfect game that I hold on to very closely, Felix Hernandez. But, I just don't think that we export very good pitchers.
Well,
by the way, you have me traumatized with that arm of yours. Whenever you start reaching, I'm like,
well, thank you for your Miguel Yahure breakdown. After that breakdown, I am not going to move on this first 5 under 4.5. After that breakdown, with the way the Pirates are hitting lefties and the way the Cubs are hitting righties, maybe it is the Cubs that are the play. A quick mention, we have our man Topset, Elio, who's been with us since day one, rocking with us in ICU right now. Said just got stuck with 4 needles looking for blood. Says, man, I'm leaking. We love you. We love you, Elio. We've been sending you as much positive energy, but you have enormous amounts of strength. We know that you're going to get through this very, very quickly and get back home. But if everybody right now could just send some love and prayers to our guy Elio, we want him to get back home and
take all my blood, my man. Take it all. I don't fucking need it.
Sports Junkie says, I like the under in this game. So do I, but maybe with Justin Steele's work on the road and the Pirates not hitting lefties, only 3 batters have seen them. Maybe the actual spot would be to back the Cubs, who are now favorites. Opened as Pittsburgh is slight favorites. Now the Cubs are slight favorites. Again, we shouldn't trust this Cubs bullpen, even though it's been a little better. But maybe just backing the Cubs against Yahure in the first 5 might be the spot. Let's take a look at where the money is on this. Oh, just 630 tickets in, but 63% of the tickets, 69% of the cash on the Cubs, and it's moved towards the Cubs. Yahure does not look locked in, and it's funny because the Cubs batters do at 267, 813 OPS versus righties. The more I talk about it, the more I won't take that first 5 under. I did not realize that Yuhure's fastball was quite so slow, but he's got a ton of movement. Viper MB says the total's gone over in Chicago last 7 games when playing Pittsburgh. I am going to add the Cubs' first 5 to my action today, backing Justin Steele as a bounce back possibility here with his strong road numbers in a pitcher's park against a team that's not hitting lefties. So Cubs first 5 is now on my card. Thank you for your help here with this young Venezuelan pitcher. We will be seeing you very soon as you are breaking down the Cleveland Indians Kansas City Royals game with us at 8:10 p.m. So we will see you soon. Jose, thank you for sharing the insights on young Yahure.
No problem. I think this game or this day is about to turn into fade the Venezuelans, and I'm a little worried about that.
It's, if we make money off of it, then it's all good. Deacon Mike says also shouldn't trust the Cubs. Here, where's Deacon? He knows this team so well. Says they couldn't hit my 50 mile per hour fastball. Makes me nervous. Okay. And Ulysses Hayes says take Pittsburgh first 5. So he's on the other side of both of my first 2 bets. I'm going to stick with my plan here. I do think that the Cubs are the spot. Von Polo says, I haven't heard my name or my comment being read all week. God, that's not on purpose, Von Polo. We love you. But I don't see a... Why did I miss that's the first comment I see of yours. Oh, no. You said take Maryland money line. Okay, my bad. My bad, Von Polo. You know we love you. And Charm City. All right, let's get to work. We move on to 7:05 p.m. Eastern, and we get to Ron Crawford spreadsheet play number 2. He's on the Boston Red Sox -1.5 for Ron Crawford, backing Victoria, British Columbia-born Nick Pivetta, going up against the lefty Alexander Wells. And there's Inopfa too. Inopfa, a great capper. Please, Inopfa, join me for Breeders' Cup Friday and Saturday. We're going to be live both days, and I'd love your insights. Boston Red Sox, Baltimore Orioles. Red Sox 89-69, 40-37 on the road at Baltimore. Orioles 51-107, 26-54. Camden Yards, Baltimore, Maryland. Razor Sharp Pick says, I just want to see the Orioles win so Jose can go crazy again. 67 Fahrenheit, partly cloudy, 7 miles per hour in. Nick Pivetta going up against Alexander Wells. Pivetta 9-7, 4.52 ERA, 1.31 WHIP, 149 in the third, 166 Ks, 63 walks, 23 home runs. His last start at home was good, and that's been somewhat of a rarity for him. He's been much better on the road this year than he has been at home. He went no walks, 7 Ks in the 5-3 loss at home versus the Yankees, but went 5 in the third, 3. It's just 1 earned run. Alexander Wells on the other side, 1-3, 7.61 ERA, 1.75 WHIP. His last start was at home versus Texas. He went 5 innings, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 homer, 1 walk, 1 K. And that's a Texas team that can't hit lefties. Red Sox do hit lefties, and they hit them hard. 284, 778 OPS. Orioles versus righties just 213, 658 OPS. Red Sox bullpen 3.76 ERA over the last 30 days, while the Orioles bullpen 6.62 ERA over the last 30 days. So let's move over to the baseball data here. Where is it? My fault. Got too much shit up here. Okay, what the hell's wrong with me? Why did I bother writing in Cabimas dangerous? Of course, Cabimas Venezuela's dangerous. All right, Pivetta 233, 825 OPS against him in this lineup. Against Alexander Wells, 300, 914 OPS. Daniel Gibbs says, what you seeing on the Virginia-Miami game? We're pretty close, Daniel Gibbs. We'll be there in probably about 35 or 40 minutes. We're pretty close. I can't wait to talk about that ball game. So let's move over to the market moves in this Boston game. They open up at -224. They're down to -199. A 25-cent move to the Baltimore Orioles. Wow. This total opened up at 10 at -106. It's now 10 at -109. A 25-cent move to the Baltimore Orioles. Does that tell you one of two things? That either tells you that Wells is going to have a nice start, and if that's the case, or there's going to be runs in this game because Pivetta is going to get touched. Because how could Alexander Wells have a nice start here? We have 85% of tickets, 81% of cash on Boston. Market's moving towards the Orioles. Then we have 59% of tickets, 52% of cash on the under. Wow. That's wild. 586 Soldier says Baltimore team total. You know what? Maybe you just nailed that, 586 Soldier, as to what the market is telling us. The market maybe is telling us that the Orioles team total is the way to go. Let's take a look at what it is here. As a big dog, their team total is 3.5 at minus 135. Maybe you've absolutely nailed that. I mean, it's juicy at minus 135. Huh. And Brian Watson says it's minus 230 at Bet365. That's wild. When Pinnacle's moved it to minus 199. Sean Thompson says Wells is being sneaky efficient. Mal, what was said about the Cards game is that all the statistical info before the lineups come out before it screams over, right? Screams over. Then you see the market moving towards the under. So your inclination, all these lineups must be weak. The lineups come out. They're abysmal. They're so weak. The hitter that hits Anderson the hardest and Goldschmidt isn't even in the lineup. Market moving towards the under. We know the pitcher's going to be left in too long. Just mixed messages. Don't want anything to do with it. And there's Dutch Boy Fresh. Freshest look in the house. The freshest look. Trevor Lawrence over 14.5 rush yards at minus 115. Okay, we're gonna share that and break that down when we talk NFL here. But I'm gonna pop that right on the top. We have the freshest look here. Dutch Boy Fresh, freshest look in the house. And we're going to need to pull that up. We don't have that right now, but we're going to get that back up and back in action here. We do have that in our NFL, but we don't have that here on Betting with the Bag anymore. So let's get that back in action. Okay, thank you for sharing that with us, Dutchy, my man. And they're asking him, Urban Meyer's asking him to feel free to run. All right, so let's go. That is the Red Sox Orioles. I can't move on it with that mixed information here. Cannot move on it, especially when Sean Thompson says that Alexander Wells is being sneaky efficient. So market keeping me off. And look at the difference in the market there when Pinnacle has moved it to minus 199 and Bet365 hanging in minus 230 and Sports Interaction hanging in minus 240. Wow. Okay, so moving past this, but the spreadsheet play of the day number 2 is on Boston Red Sox minus 1.5. And just out of curiosity, what would that cost? Minus 1.5 right now is minus 145. So I definitely do not want that. Deacon Mike tweeting out of their cups. Oh, Jimmy, 2 cups, man. Okay, we move on. 7:07 p.m. New York Yankees at Toronto Blue Jays. Yankees 90-68, 45-35 on the road. Toronto Blue Jays 88-70, 44-32 at home. Rogers Center in Toronto, Ontario. 59 Fahrenheit, partly cloudy, 7 miles per hour in. Michael O'Brien says that game means a lot to Boston, right? Yes, it means a ton to Boston. Look, I understand why it's a spreadsheet play of the day. I completely understand it. I'm just, I have to be very, very confident in a spot when it's that costly. And again, that minus 145 is a real bad price at Bet365. You can get a better price at different books. All right, we are in Toronto, Rogertown, Toronto, Ontario. So the last 2 nights, the roof has been open. I expect the roof to be open again tonight. It's kind of chilly, but they're keeping the roof open. 59 Fahrenheit, partly cloudy, 7 miles per hour in. Corey Kluber going up against Robbie Ray. Robbie Ray has a ton of pressure on him. A very good start here. He's our likely AL Cy Young winner. It's tricky. Not Jimmy the Cups, Jimmy 2 Cups. Actually, they used to call me Jimmy 2 Cups down in Costa Rica. So, Michael O'Brien says, "Is it normal for aces to get touched this time of year?" That would be an answer that would require some statistical backup. But if a pitcher's at the 200 inning mark, then there's a chance that there's arm fatigue in play here. But Kluber has not got that issue. He's only thrown 75 in the 3rd innings this year. Also, the issue with Kluber has been his home road splits. At home, 2-2, 2.75 ERA, 231 opponent's batting average. On the road, 3-1, 5 ERA, 250 opponent's batting average. Last start, 4 1/3, 8 hits, 3 earned runs, no homers, no walks, 4 Ks, and a 7-3 win at Texas. I was expecting a better start from him. Going up against Robbie Ray on his way to a Cy, 13-6, 2.68 ERA, 1.04 WHIP, 188 innings, 244 Ks, 49 walks, 29 home runs. In his last start, he went 6 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run, no homers, 4 walks, 6 Ks in a 6-1 win at the Twins. At home, Robbie Ray's 8-3. And Puzzler says, pretty sure the roof is always open for COVID protocols, unless it rains hard. Interesting. Okay. So it looks like even for the rest of the week, we'll have that roof open even if it gets cold. Evan L. says Jay's first 5 run line for him. At home, Robbie Ray, 8-3, 2.28 ERA, 194 opponents batting average, being very good. He's been good on the road, too. 5-3, 3.16 ERA, 229 opponents batting average. Yankees are hitting lefties with a nice average, but not power. 260, but 715 OPS. Blue Jays are hitting righties with the same average at 263, pretty much, but an 846 OPS. Yankees bullpen, 3.94 ERA over the last 30 days. Jays bullpen just can't be trusted. 4.41 ERA. Slat says if Ray delivers a quality start, the Cy Young is his, and he will sign the biggest contract of his life. How does he handle the pressure of that and keeping Jays alive? It concerns me. It concerns me. And when we go back into his log, let's do that right now. When we go back into that game log, he had a massive start in recently that sort of had the same connotations where if he had a giant start, he would be the front runner for the Cy. Let's move there to his game log. And it was at the Rays. So now the difficulty was he had to face the Rays back-to-back. The first time he faces the Rays, 7 innings, 13 strikeouts. Then he faces the Rays 5 days later, and he only goes 4 2/3 and 7 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 walks, 5 Ks. Bounces back against the Twinkies last out. 6 innings, 3 hits, 1 run. 4 walks, 6 Ks. He's walking more batters. There's Millsy in the house. Great to see you, my man. Tyler McCoy says they will keep the roof open as much as they can. That includes having to partially close the roof, but they have protocols for a closed roof. But that is the last option. Okay, thank you, Tyler. I made a mistake. The first game of the series, I was surprised to see the roof open, but that was clearly a mistake by me. So the question you have to ask, well, let's go into baseball data, but then we'll have to ask yourself a question, and it has to do with Slat's comment for sure. Kluber against Kluber, 276, 801 OPS. They get to him. Against Robbie Ray, 214, 643 OPS. And there's Sharon in the house. Great to see you. So let's move over to the market and the cash. The Jays open up at minus 141. They're now minus 143, just a 2-cent move towards them. Money is coming in on the under. There's been a 6-cent move at Pinnacle on the under. Open at 8 at minus 106. Now it's under 8 at minus 112. So let's move over to the cash here in this giant baseball game. 2,307 tickets in. 60% of the tickets and 87% of the cash are on the Blue Jays, and yet it moves only 2 cents. Very strange. 64% of the tickets, 87% of cash on the over. And the markets move 6 cents to the under, making the over more appealing. I can't make a bet with a ton of confidence in this game. Slat said he's going to have the biggest and loudest crowd of the year behind him. The crowd last night was electric. I can't do it. Kluber's been in these situations. He knows how to handle it. And I'm just going to be a very fascinated watcher. And it means so much to me to succeed for my own personal life. But it also means so much to me for us all to succeed. And I don't want to give out a homer pick. I'm nervous about this game. The market doesn't line up right with the Jays or the under. So Sammy Coleman says can't back the Jays at this number. Look, I'll be a very interested viewer tonight. But no bet for me. We move on to 7:10 p.m. Eastern. I did move on this game. Mets first 5, -0.5 at minus 125, which I thought was the fine price. I was not angry at that price. It was as soon as it became available, I bet 365. I bet it. And we have a 16-cent move towards the Mets from minus 176 to minus 192. This total opened up juice to the over 7.5. It's now juice to the under 7.5. Remo says on totals, what does the juice reach until that number changes? All the books sort of do it differently. And some of the books won't change the number if they don't want. if they can juice it to minus 135 or minus 140, and Bet365 does that, it tells me they don't want any more money bet on that, and they think the juice will keep people away rather than moving it to a 5 at a plus number, which might get even more action on it. Okay. Sean King in the house. Mets, first 5 minus a half. Miami Marlins, 65-93, 25-55 on the road at the New York Mets, 75-83, 46-34 at home. We're at Citi Field in Queens, New York, 65 Fahrenheit, partly cloudy, 8 miles per hour in. Edward Cabrera on the hill here. I don't trust him. Young pitcher, will be good, not good yet. 0-3, 5.79 ERA, 1.67 whip, 23 in the third, 22 Ks, 17 walks, 5 home runs. In his last start, he went 3 innings, 3 earned runs, 4 walks, 6 Ks, an 8-0 loss at Tampa. Look, he's electric. And now he goes on the road in Citi Field in Queens, New York, against a Mets team that doesn't care. Steve Priest says Marlins 17-29 versus left-handed starters. A first 5 team total under for the Marlins I'd be very interested in, but as we know right now, this is going down in price. And I'm just going to focus here on the Mets' first 5. I expect to see a nice start from Rich Hill. He doesn't have a win as a New York Met, but he's been good. 3.86 ERA, 1.23 whip. As soon as the Rays got rid of him, I bet on him once more and then I stopped. I was like, well, the Rays are the smartest franchise in the league. If they don't want him, why would I be backing him? But his last start was good. It was a 2-1 loss at the Brewers. We know the Brewers aren't hitting lefties. 5 innings, 2 hits, 2 earned runs, 4 walks, 6 Ks. The Marlins are even worse against lefties right now. Marlins last 30 days are hitting 174 with a 516 OPS versus lefties. And the Mets are hitting righties. 259, 781 OPS. Marlins bullpen last 30 days is very good. 3.24 ERA. It's been better than the Mets bullpen. That's why I'm taking first 5, minus a half, at minus 125, leaving the full game alone. We saw the Marlins come back on the Mets last out. Let's move over to baseball data and see if it helps or hurts. Against Cabrera, the Mets are hitting 369 with a 1.275 OPS. They're 7 for 19 with 2 jacks. Against Rich Hill, 262, but with just a 670 OPS. They're 11 for 42, and 9 of those hits are singles, and then 2 doubles. So not much there. Then we move over to the cash flow in this spot. We know there's been a 16-cent move towards the Mets, and it's slightly moved towards the under. And here we go. We have just 856 tickets in because at first it was supposed to be Tyler Megel, and now it's Big Dick Rich. 78% of the tickets on Rich Hill, 98% of the cash. And that has got to make you feel good. Then 53% of the tickets on the under and 94% of the cash on the under. That makes me a little nervous that when you take a minus a half. Top set says I have a strong play here. Mets first 5 and full game under. And that's where we are. And Luce's Fox says that Lawrence over-rushing prop looks good. It's up to 17.5 on Bovada. And Puzzler says I will most likely take the Jays run line. But you know where I live. I do. And I love it. In the 6, baby. Okay. Mets first 5, minus half, minus 125. One of 4 bets I've made today. Now, I'm going to be adding the Chicago Cubs. That's the only spot I'm going to be adding. Let's move on because we all want to talk football, but we got more work to do. Tampa Bay Rays at Houston Astros. So, yesterday was a perfect example of what I'm doing right and what I'm doing wrong. I saw Rasmussen going up against Garcia, and I thought, God, it's got to be a first 5 under. And then we saw it go from 4.5 to 5. How could it move to 5? I thought, well, I got to stay off of this. Why at that point? And when? When will it be where I say, oh, look, the market's telling us this game is going to go over. Sit back and bet the over. There was a time where TJ was tracking the spots where I got off of a play and didn't bet the other side. And at the point when he was tracking it, I was 65%. It would have been 65% winners. At what point will I start doing that? Now, the good thing is it took me off of a loser. So it's not all bad because I was going to take the under. And then after 2 innings, it was 0-0. And I was like, oh, God, it's just very, very, very annoying when the market is giving you a gift and yet I'm not taking it. All right, let's put it see if this roof is closed again. It's been closed every night, and it's closed again. So it's closed in Houston tonight. We have Colin McHugh going up against Lance McCullers at Minute Maid Park, Houston, Texas. Rays are 46-31 on the road, while the Astros are 48-29 at home. McHugh, the veteran, 6-1, 1.60 ERA, 0.95 WHIP. He's been very good. Not so good of late, but he's been very good this year. Last start, it was an appearance. He hasn't started in 4 games as an opener. He wants to start, but he is out of the bullpen. His last appearance, 1 1/3, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 K, and a 7-3 win at home versus the Marlins. He's not coming in high leverage situations. Lance McCullers on the other side, 12-5, 3.17 ERA, 1.24 WHIP. Steve Priest leaning to raise Astros under both first 5 and full game. McCullers at home has been worse than he's been on the road. At home, 5-3, 3.54 ERA, 212 opponents batting average. At home, on the road, 7-2, 2.70 ERA, 200 opponents batting average. In his last start, it was at the Angels on the road where he's been good. It was a quality start. It wasn't great. 6 innings, 2 hits, 3 earned runs, 4 walks, 5 Ks, and a 3-2 loss at the Angels. The Rays are hitting 233, 745 OPS versus righties last 30 days. Astros, 264, 763 OPS. Rays bullpen has not been nearly as dominant as it looked earlier in the year. It didn't start out that well, but in the midsection of the year, 3.88 ERA over the last 30 days. Astros bullpen, 4.15 ERA over the last 30 days. Tyler Mira says, hey man, love the show, but the thumbnail picture of you is very creepy. All right. Well, I'm sure it's not the first time I'm being very creepy. Let's move on. We move over to baseball data. Against McHugh, they're 3 for 17, so a small sample size, but they don't hit them. Against McCullers, 179 with a 530 OPS. Then, Schillingberg says Yarbrough's been lights out when following an opener. Let's see if that is confirmed too. Is it Yarbrough coming in? And it is Ryan Yarbrough coming in. Why don't we just take a look at what Yarbrough's done of late, because his season numbers aren't that strong. So let's just quickly move over to Yarbrough here and get a look of his last few games before we have any faith in whether or not this could be a under spot. So I'll just take 1 second. Sorry, it's going to take a little longer because he's not the listed starting pitcher. And let's go over this. Yarbrough, you battle axe, 6'5" Yarbrough. We go to your split. Oh shit, it's game log. Game log. And here we go. Last out, he was excellent. 6 innings, 2 hits, 8-0 win at home. Start before that, he was not very good. And then he had 2 road starts before that where he got absolutely touched, just violated. Hard to back him. Luchase Fox says, and anytime Luchase talks anything Houston, I mean, he's a great capper all around, but Houston, just have your ear to the Luchase Fox streets. Astros look like sad sacks right now. Most manic team ever. Probably going to get shut out again tonight, but who knows? They need wins still, so in theory, they will come out to play, but I am passing. And Chris One says, waste of time talking baseball now. It's still 5 more days of the regular season, but sorry that we're wasting your time, Chris. Luchase says, don't forget the Astros bullpen always gives up 3 runs. Let's just see what the market's done and then move over to the cash. We're almost at football. McHugh, McCullers, Houston opening up at -148. They're now -146. A 2-cent move over to Tampa. This total's gone from 9 to 8.5. Let's move over to the money. In the money side of things in Houston, Tampa, we've just 1,008 tickets in. 57% of the tickets on the Astros, 20% of the cash. Wow. 55% of tickets on the under and 81% of the cash. Telling you that they're the spot here. Astros bullpen's not being good. It's a bullpen day for them. Top sets on Astros team total over 4.5 says he loves it. The market is telling us that the Rays are going to win this game and there's value on them at this price. That's what the market is telling us. Let's just see what I would get on the Rays right now. Plus 135. I mean, that's just a juicy, juicy price on them. It's because it's McCullers, who can be good, who's capable of being good, who's great numbers. Look, I'm off this spot. I've got enough action today. I'm really excited about football. I'm off this spot. Let's move on to 7:20 p.m. Eastern. Next up, Philadelphia Phillies at Atlanta Braves. We're at Truist Park in Atlanta, Georgia. 79 Fahrenheit, mostly cloudy, 3 miles per hour, sideways, slightly in. We have Kyle Gibson going up against Ian Anderson. Gibson has been a disappointment. 4-5. And Slatsy says Jays smash Kluber. I got to take the Jays. Even my wife is loving them. Yeah, it's sorry, I got the 2 sick kids at home, so it looks like we're not going down to Niagara Falls for the weekend for after the football show and for my birthday, which means I won't be at Fort Erie hammering horses all day on Monday, which makes me so angry. Which means that I'll be sitting here right here in the dark with a bottle of Kraken on my birthday alone, betting Fort Erie. That's what my birthday will be. And it makes sense, you know. Okay, Ian Anderson up against Kyle Gibson. Ian Anderson's been great this year. 8-5, 3.60 ERA, 1.24 whip, 122 in the third, 122 Ks, 50 walks, 15 home runs. Last out, 7 innings, 2 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 8 Ks, and 9-2 win at Arizona. He's been very good. Phillies are hitting righties hard, 261, 785 OPS, but they don't seem to care. Braves do care. They do care. 254 with a 777 OPS. Nut Flush Allen says this breakdown may take a few separate takes from our Nut Flush Allen. By the way, his eldest daughter has gone off to university, so his wife says, "Why don't you build a mini sports book in there?" God, you're the luckiest man alive, and you've earned it. You've earned that. Phillies bullpen 5.06 ERA over the last 30 days, trash. Braves bullpen over the last 30 days, 2.89 ERA, trash. Topset says take the Rays -1.5. If you're on the Astros team total over and you love it, and you're taking the Rays -1.5, you must be heavy on the full game over. Look at that. Wow. Okay, so let's move over to Philadelphia, Atlanta Braves. Philadelphia, Atlanta Braves. Let's move this. We're going to go into the baseball data first and see what we are dealing with. I just left money on the table there with knowing what Nola does on the road. Why did I not back Max Fried last night? It made me very, very upset. Against Kyle Gibson, these guys are hitting 256 with an 832 OPS. They can get to him. Against Ian Anderson, 274, 848 OPS. Very interesting that they get to him as well. Let's take a look at what the market has done in this Phillies Braves spot. We have the Braves opening up at -146. They're now -147, a 1 cent move towards them. Very interesting. The under 8.5 was juiced at -112. It's moved all the way to the over 8.5 in this spot. Almost no wind, 79 Fahrenheit, nice and warm. Wow. If all the money is on the over here, then it just feels like that's got to be the play. 2,774 tickets in. 82% of the tickets, 85% of the cash on the Braves, and the market moving towards the Phillies. It's a red flag. 77% of the tickets on the over, and we don't have the cash on the over yet, which sucks. I'd like to know it. Deacon Mike, no, I'm going to pass on that, man. I'm going to pass on that. Attaboy, Kev Riley, another winner. So it's screaming over 8.5 here in Gibson versus Anderson. But Anderson's been so good. If that's the case, maybe it's the Braves run line, the team total over. But then why is the market not moving towards the Braves when all the money is in on the Braves? So I'm going to just stick with what Viper MB is saying, like the over, but pass for me. I think that's well put. Like the over, but pass. We move on to 7:40 p.m. Eastern, and that brings us to the sweet, sweet Taint play of the day. Taint moving on the first 5 under 4.5 and Tigers Twins, and I'm also on it as well. Taint, baby, Taint. All right, let's go. Oh, and Nut Flush Allen giving us San Francisco Giants information. Oh, Guillermo, of course. Come on. Not only are we doing a Breeders' Cup show, but I'm going to do it on Friday and Saturday. There's big show picks in the house. All right, let me just get this locked in above the spot. So it's going against what Emily J. Blunt, who is a very sharp capper, thought about this Giants game. So let me pop this here, and this is Nut Flush. Okay, we got lots to talk about. Okay, let's keep rolling. And we move on to this spot. Taint, Target Field, Minneapolis, Minnesota, Detroit, 75 and 83, 33 and 44 on the road at the Twinkies, 71 and 87, 38 and 42 at home. Slats 45. Okay. Real Deal Prime says big game for Ryan. Twins win. These Twinkies. Joe Ryan looks awesome. Tariq Scooball, you guys know that I have a fondness for the man. 78 Fahrenheit, mostly cloudy, 5 miles per hour in. Scooball being good this year. 8 and 12, 4.13 ERA, 1.24 WHIP. I knew he was going to have these kind of numbers when he started out the year with a 6 inflated ERA, 6 ERA. I was like, watch, this kid can throw. Last start, the problem with Scooball is he's got this innings limit. He's got the same innings limit now that Casey Mize has, and I don't know what it's going to do. It hasn't affected him too bad, but they're not going to play him more than 3 innings or 4. He'll go 4 innings if he's rolling like he was last start. He allowed 1 hit at home versus the Royals, 1 hit, and they pulled him after 4 innings, which will happen again. And yes, the Tigers bullpen has been good, but because of that, and because of yesterday with Casey Mize, I only want the first 5 under 4.5. At home, he has been really good, 4 and 7, 3.56 ERA, 243 opponents batting average. And then on the road, he's not been good. But he's throwing real nice right now. He knows he's not going deep into this game. And the Twins are hitting 243, 699 OPS versus lefties. So move on to Joe Ryan, future ace. Last start, 5 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 11 Ks in 5 innings, 5-4 win at the Cubs, 2.45 ERA, 0.59 WHIP in the show. Tigers are hitting 244, 730 OPS, and the Twins bullpen's been very good. Okay, let's take a look at that right now on the baseball data. There won't be much, obviously, with Joe. He hasn't seen them. But Tariq Scooball rating 206 with a 720 OPS. So let's take a look at the market move in this game. Detroit, Minnesota, it's gone from being juiced to the over 8.5 to being juiced to the under 8.5. And there's been a 2-cent move towards the Tigers, which is interesting. A 2-cent move towards the Tigers. Let's see if the cash follows suit. 1,437 tickets in. They're saying that the Tigers will go down to plus 152. 63% of the cash, 63% of the tickets, 69% of the cash on the Twins money line, 56% of the tickets, 81% of cash on the under, and I'm going to stick with that. Francis Lerchelier. There we go. Francis Lerchelier is on the Tigers, 3 innings plus a half. That's a spot that I like very much. Kev Riley, please send my love to Dawn and let her know that we love her here, and we love her support of your capping. So tell her that we love her. Sean Thompson says, but Scooball's locked in. Even when he gives up a few, he's right back to business. Steve Priest says, Tigers, Twins, first 5 under 4.5. May double up and take full game under 8.5 too. Lerchelier. God, I had it there. Lerchelier.
All right. I think you need to add some to it too.
Oh, you racist son of a bitch. You goddamn racist son of a bitch. All right, I'm going to copy and paste the last name and work on it. It's a pet peeve of mine to not be able to pronounce names. Chrisology is on the full game under. Machiavelli. Nate Pereira. You know Nate Pereira? Oh, God. He was our low shack in the bag lawyer. If anybody got in any trouble and he came to Vegas and hung out with us. Machiavelli, you know that I looked you up on the internet to make sure that everything was okay. And I saw that your new law firm that you are a partner in, and I looked you up just to make sure that you were okay. And it's great to see you, my man. Low bag lawyer back in action. Slide says just like Darno. Okay, so let's stay focused here. Sorry, you guys are messing with me. And we got our low bag lawyer back in action. If anybody is thinking about committing a crime, go ahead. Fuck that shit up. We got just the man to keep you out of prison. Machiavelli, a.k.a. Nate Pereira.
What about crimes that you've already committed and need expungements for?
Interesting. And we can help you there as well, Jose. Interesting. We can help you there as well, Jose. So I love it. Detroit, Minnesota, first 5 under 4.5. Let's just make sure that the market move has gone towards that. Move over to the first 5 total. We know that Taint's on it. I'm on it. And great to have our lawyer back in action. Nate Pereira, how can I stay in touch with you, man? God, he came to Vegas, got this souped up, gorgeous truck, took us out for a night of partying. It was excellent. Okay. 4.5 under is at minus 108 right now. It opened at Open juice to the over. Okay, that's all I need to see. That's all I need to see. I like that. Juice to the under now. And Machiavelli says expungement, no problem. So there you go, Jose. All right. Okay, so we move on to 8:10 p.m. Eastern. Cleveland Indians 77-81, 37-40 on the road at the Kansas City Royals, 73-85, 38-39 at home. And we have our man Jose Bouquet, say hey play of the day. And coming off a winner last night, I thought it was a really shrewd bet. He's now 42-41 plus 3.09 units, ROI plus 3.72%, average line plus 103, and I'm very proud of him. Please welcome to the show, Jose Bouquet in the house. What's up?
Wow, what's up? Days are different now, Jimmy. Winning cappers get to do what they want. I feel like I haven't gotten yelled at in a while. I can make jokes on the show. This is a weird feeling.
You are succeeding on the show, and it makes me very pleased. We're talking Indians Royals here, Kauffman Stadium, Kansas City, Missouri, 75 Fahrenheit, mostly cloudy, 7 miles per hour, sideways in. Shane Bieber on the hill against Angel Zerpa. Angel.
Thank you. There we go.
Angel. Thank you. Angel Zerpa. And we have our second Venezuelan pitcher on the mound here that we need to learn about, and who else to help us but this man right here. Jose, tell us about Angel Zerpa.
Well, my man Angel, also, again, I said it earlier, Venezuela, not the best at exporting pitchers, short, very fiery, passionate men that like to cheat. That is something that we export on and off the field. Shout out to all my Venezuelan brothers out there. But Jimmy, I was pretty shocked to see this number. I mean, this is just bad luck for my man Angel the Arepa Zerpa. I think he's gotten a bad draw. First start in the majors, I believe, Jimmy. You can correct me if I'm wrong. Hasn't had a start this year. Going up against Shane Bieber, I mean, come on. That's a tough draw for my man. Shane, 3 innings pitched last time out. I think a lot of people were surprised to see him actually on the mound this late in the season when the Indians don't have anything to play for. And I don't think the Indians are considered a smart franchise. They're poor and a poverty franchise, but they are smart. So they know what they're doing, and I don't think they would throw out their $1 million ace starting pitcher for a couple starts, just as a fuck around without him not being healthy. So I think he goes today. I think he goes 5. He went 3 last inning or last start. So I think, wow, these comments are ferocious today. Jesus. But I think he goes 5. Give me the Indians first 5 -0.5. Right now we're looking at -115, Jimmy.
I think this makes a ton of sense. My only uncomfort is that the market isn't moving towards the Cleveland Indians. So if the market isn't moving over to the Cleveland Indians, that tells us that this lefty is capable of having a good start. But I also looked into Angel Zerpa. And this year he's gone from high A Quad Cities to double A Northwest Arkansas to triple A Omaha. And in Quad Cities, high A, he was dominant. 4-0 electric. He moves up to double A and triple A and can't get a win and starts getting hit.
6 ERA.
It makes me think that these lefties that no one's seen before are always tricky. And the Indians are hitting them right now, 264, 764 OPS. But just the fact that this is, well, it's also moving to the over. So I guess that's a bit of a, but why would there be a 5-cent move to the Kansas City Royals here unless the market expects a good start from him? So let's just see where the cash is and if it's enough to scare the shit out of me, because it shouldn't. This should be a bet against Angel Zerpa. 1,046 tickets in, 66% of the tickets, 73% of cash, and yet a market move towards the Royals. 44% of the tickets, 70% of the cash on the under, and yet the market's moved towards the over.
Is 5 cents enough to really scare you, though, Jimmy?
Definitely, because all the money is on the Indians. How could it possibly move the other way? 5 cents moving the other way scares the shit out of me.
I need to just make the European syndicate drop already because the syndicates are after our ass, Jimmy.
I'm not sure if they're after mine. Nasty Nate with some nice things as well. Really respectful.
Well, unfortunately, I told myself mentally I wouldn't shave until UTSA loses. So, and now they're 4-0, and it looks like they have a chance to run the season. So, did not think we would get to this point.
Some really nice things coming in about you, by the way, Jose. Really nice stuff. Deacon says that partial goatee makes me think you're planning is dressing up as an Amish gambler for Halloween.
Well, that's a good idea. I would love some good ideas for my Halloween costume or for the show. I'll dress up on Halloween. No issues, no problems. I would love some ideas for the chat if you guys could throw some in there. I'd love it.
Okay, Ixnizzle in the house says it doesn't always have service at job sites, but he's here. Thank you for joining us, Ixnizzle, for the faux shizzle Ixnizzle play of the day. And we have Dommy Gun Ricci after the big weekend in Atlantic City back in action with us. So I'm perplexed, and if that is the case, I should probably stay off. But if there's a 5-cent move towards the Royals, it can only be that they're expecting Zerpa to have a good start. So let's just move over to the first 5 right now, because we can expect Bieber to have a good start. This is originally juiced to the under -118. There's been a 5-cent move towards the over. I mean, this is crazy. I mean, am I just leaving money on the table here?
Yes. You do this often with my bets. You leave money on the table and you don't want to ride with me.
No, look, it's not that I don't want to ride with you. You're a winning capper on this show, and I'm very proud of it.
And you don't want to ride with me. Jimmy, you said it. You get scared. Your palms get sweaty when you think of us on the same bandwagon, and it's been nothing but money for you. I have put money in your pocket. I have put food in Ella's mouth. So, come on.
What is the juice on your Indians first 5 -1/2?
-115. Jimmy, the way I think this loses is that the Indians' bats just don't show up for shit because they don't have it. Neither of these teams have nothing to play for. I said it last night, or I guess yesterday. The offense really starts. I think it starts to take a toll at the end. These guys are tired. Like, all the baseball players at the end of the season are just fucking trying to get to the end of it. Pitchers, they're a little more fresh, obviously, because they're like, oh, last start of the season, let's go out there, have a good start, end the season on a high note, blah, blah, blah. So, I mean, honestly, we're talking all this stuff. We think apparently we think the Zerp man, Arepa Zerpa, is gonna have a great start. It should be a first 5 under, apparently. But yes, you are leaving money on the table, not following. Yes.
But this is crazy. This makes no sense to me whatsoever. How could they hang an Indians first 5 have -115 with a Cy Young winner going up against a pitcher who went 0-4 with a 6 ERA in AA and AAA?
My guess I guess the first 5, what I thought of was potentially them thinking Bieber goes like 3 again. They say, all right, we're not gonna take it easy, we're not push it, whatever. Let's just have a nice 3-inning start, get your 3 Ks, because that's what he did last time out. 3 innings, 3 Ks, got in and out. No, I don't think he even gave up a hit. So I wouldn't be surprised. I guess I would be a little surprised if it does go only 3. But I think he's going 5, and I think he has a good start, obviously. But like I said, Jimmy, it's the bats, Indians bats. They have no one. I mean, let's play a game. Name one Indians player that's not Jose Ramirez.
Oh, come on. We've been capping this team all year long. I do think that this Indians team is hitting 264, 764 OPS over the last 30 days, and it hasn't been Jose Ramirez, and this team has been hitting.
Yeah, we're gonna. I think we win this bet pretty. I would even say like maybe Royals first 5 team total under. I'll look it up right now, but like it's I think that Bieber gets his work in, dominates, and like we say, if they only throw him for 3, you hope that a formerly good Indians bullpen can pull it together for you. First 5 under, if you feel them ballsy, under a half. So nothing. Plus 260, under 1.5, plus 105. I like both those bets, honestly, too. A little sprinkle on the under a half. You think that Bieber, you hope that Bieber goes the full 5, and then you get out of there with that dub.
This is just crazy. I mean, this makes if a line makes no sense, I can't bet it, and this makes absolutely no sense whatsoever to me.
It makes sense when you're looking through my eyes, Jimmy. You just have to you have to look at it through my Venezuelan eyes, Jimmy. You have to see the history of all Venezuelan people and realize we're all a bunch of bums and we all fold at big moments. And this is where Angel the Arepa Zerpa fails.
Look, I agree with your looks. I need to sit with it for a little longer. It just doesn't make any sense to me. It just does. There's no way that they would be giving you this gift. The books just don't do that. When you think they do that, it's because it's going to lose.
What are you going to do, Jimmy, when we meet up one day and I'm like, Jimmy, I've got this bet. Are you going to bet it? And you're just going to look at me and say no? Or you're not going to tell me? You're going to spit in my face and just be like, fuck you. Your work is useless to me, you fool. That's what it feels like right now.
Is that what it feels like?
That's what it feels like.
Well, I can promise you I won't ever spit in your face. All right? Look, I don't know. It just does something. If it doesn't make sense, I can't bet it. So I like both looks, and maybe I will tail, and I'll let you know if I do. But right now I just can't.
Noli likes the first 5 under 4.5. Interesting. I'm gonna put a small bet on the first 5 under 4.5 as well as Cleveland first 5. You know, I think your numbers. If you think the numbers saying that this game's going to be a good start for my man Zerpa, then in the first 5 just under makes a lot of sense because we think Bieber is going to do his thing. So I mean, I love it. So and by the way, Jose's army is growing, Jimmy. Jose's army is growing every day.
All right, we move on to 9:45 p.m. Eastern. Next, we have the Arizona Diamondbacks at San Francisco Giants. Diamondbacks 50-108, 20-60 on the road. Giants 104-54, 51-26 at home. Oracle Park in San Francisco, California. 68 Fahrenheit clear, 7 miles per hour out to right center. We have Madison Bumgarner going up against Scott Kazmir. We've had some very interesting breakdowns on this spot. Let's talk about them. First off, Emily J. Blunt, very, very strong capper on the show, says Bumgarner's last start of the season against his former team with journeyman Kazmir going for San Francisco, Arizona long shot of the day. Then we have Nutflush Allen say, if Mad Bum is confirmed, I will be on the team total over for the Giants 4.5. Mad Bum will not be left long in this game if he gets hit due to respect, and you get the Diamondbacks bullpen. Mad Bum will not be left long in this game if he gets hit due to respect, and you get the Diamondbacks bullpen. If Bum pitches, it will be emotional. So we have these looks. Let's talk about it now. Bumgarner, 7-10, 4.58 ERA, 1.17 whip, 141 in the third, 120 Ks, 39 walks, 23 home runs. In his last start, 5 innings, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 homer, 2 walks, 5 Ks, in a 6-4 win at home versus the Braves. The Giants are hitting 244, 739 OPS versus lefties, and they have to win this baseball game. So let's move over to the baseball data next in the Giants spot. We have against Bumgarner 230 with a 655 OPS. I mean, he gets these San Francisco Giants out. That's 20 for 87. And then against Kazmir, I mean, the small sample size, 17 at-bats, they hit him, but he's not going to be in there for very long. So let's talk about the Diamondbacks versus Kazmir. 234, 678 OPS, but, I mean, how many lefties are you going to have at them? So that's that. Maybe isn't that prudent. Diamondbacks bullpen 4.26 ERA over the last 30 days. It's actually been a little better. I know they've been a tire fire all year, but they've been a little better. Giants bullpen 2.45 ERA over the last 30 days, just so good. Now let's take a look at the market move here. This total has been sitting at 4.5. There's been a 9-cent move to the first 5 over. A 9-cent move to the first 5 over. We'll move over to full game market move here. We have the Giants opening up at minus 184. They're now minus 208, so a 24-cent move towards them. This total opened up at 8.5 as a pick'em, and is now a 2-cent move to the under at minus 108. Let's move over to the cash flow in this spot. 1,878 tickets in, 69% of the tickets, 77% of the cash on the Giants. And then not enough tickets, or the information is not compiled on the cash, but we have 51% of tickets on the over. Look, I don't know what Mad Bum is going to do here. I don't know. I mean, he's capable of a special start. And I can't sit here with confidence and say, oh, he's going to get hit or he's not. Like, I don't know what he's going to do against this team, this first place 100-win ball club that he wishes he could be a part of. Topset says, fade bum is my angle. Sean Thompson says, agree with Not Flush. They don't want to hammer him. G. Martinez says his numbers aren't saying not special. Look, I get it. His numbers have not been very good. Michael O'Brien says, seems like losing the home run guy to the broken finger as a Brandon Belt. Jared Nichols ready to talk football. Says baseball is trash. I'm not moving on this baseball game. I do not know what to expect. I will listen to what Nutflush says throughout when we see the lineups and throughout, but the Bumgarner is such an unknown to me that I'm not comfortable with this spot. Okay, one more game till we get into football. Let's move on to 10:10 p.m. Eastern. San Diego Padres, LA Dodgers, Dodger Stadium, Los Angeles, California. 79 Fahrenheit clear, 5 miles per hour. And we have Vince Velasquez going up against Tony Gonsolin. I already moved on the Dodgers. First 5, -1 at -114. I got a -0.5 at -150. And I got a -1.5 at +120 using the run line calculator that gave me a -114. I do not trust Vince Velasquez whatsoever. At all. Birdie says Lamar dealing with a back flare-up. If you like Denver, bet it now. If Lamar misses practice again today, the line will move. Flying will not help the inflammation. I can't wait to talk about that game, Birdie, but I'm afraid to bet it. There's so many sharps on the Ravens getting players back. The Broncos dealing with injuries, have played weak teams. I think I'd prefer just to not bet the Ravens-Broncos game and not sit here saying, oh, the sharps are all wrong. Broncos are going to take care of business at home. But we'll talk about that spot. Kenny Ken says Velasquez will get touched up. Velasquez is trash, but didn't look awful in his last start. Birdie says no, sharps are on Broncos. Look, I hear you, but there's a bunch of sharps that I know that are on the Baltimore Ravens. And the market has moved towards that. And we had this battle a week ago. So, if we go to this spot in this game here, just quickly to talk about it again, and we have 92% of the cash right now on the Ravens. I don't know. We'll talk. We'll talk about this spot, but whale capper on the Ravens, and I know others, and I know there's sharps on the Broncos too. And look, I'll tell you, there's a 0 chance that I'm betting the Ravens. Viper MB says Vince is not fade. I agree with that. Tony Gonsolin has been very good at home this year. 2-1, 2.13 ERA, 196 opponent's batting average. The Dodgers bullpen is so much better than the Padres bullpen. I don't know why I was fixated on this first 5 rather than just betting the full game. Let's take a look at the market move here on this. Dodgers open up at -239. They're now -202. So there's been a 37-cent move towards the Padres. This total opened up at 9 at -106. And pick them in either direction. And do that somewhere else. Thanks. -112. So a 6-cent move towards the over. Let's move over to the cash flow in this spot here. The Giants, the Dodgers game, 33,202 tickets in, 78% of the tickets, 58% of the cash on the Dodgers. I mean, that's just wild. 44% of tickets, 94% of cash on the under. Ken Peacock says Tail Babano and game on the over 68.5 yards this morning for Chase. I like that. But again, there's Sanka. Great to see you, Sanka. Again, we could see Dutch Boy Fresh on the Ravens team total under 23 at -110. That's a great look on the game. Steve Priest says Dodgers first 5 over 2.5 minus 140. A little juicy, but should be an easy casher. And Dutchy says Lamar will not win in Denver. Okay. Back to this spot. How on earth could there be this move towards the Padres? I can't double up here. The market's throwing me for a loop on all these baseball games. And I know we want to talk football. We'll go into football right now, but I just how on earth could they be handing you the Indians first 5 minus 115? It's so confusing. So let's break this down here right now. Betstradamus picks took Dodgers plus 1.5 on live bet last night. I'm guessing. Nice job. Okay, so here we go. Okay, here we go. This is the action on today's baseball card. Brew Crew Cardinals, no bet. Lineups are very weak. Numbers point towards over. Market moving towards under. Complete stay off. Spreadsheet play of the day number 1 is on the LA Angels, and I'm on the LA Angels first 5. Then I'm adding the Cubs first 5. That will be in addition to my card. Then spreadsheet play of the day number 2 is the Boston Red Sox minus 1.5. I'm off that game. Yankees Blue Jays off that game. I'm on the Mets first 5 minus 0.5 minus 125. Rays Astros, no move for me. Phillies Braves, no move again for me. Matty Ice Taint play of the day is Detroit Minnesota first 5 under 4.5. I'm also on the Taint play of the day. Then Jose Seje play of the day is Indians first 5 minus 0.5 minus 115. And look, it makes perfect sense. It makes perfect sense.
Do it, Jim. Do it. Just do it.
All right. Sounds like a drug dealer. And he's also going to be betting the first 5 under 4.5, which makes sense. It's crazy. It's just crazy. No move for me in the Giants game. I do not know what Bumgarner is going to do against his old team with the last start of the year. And then Padres, Dodgers. I'm on the Dodgers minus 1, first 5, but market moving towards the Padres makes no sense to me. All right, there you have it. Let's get into football right now. Move over to football. We're going to talk NCAA football first. Then we're going to move into the big NFL game. And don't forget that Ian Cameron's Football Frenzy follows this show in 28 minutes. There's Noli Nose in the house. We're still talking about this big spot on Sunday in Mile High. Slotsy says so many injuries for Broncos. Ravens getting back at least 4 starters. And Hollywood went to catching school this week. Brady says, just my opinion, but if we respect anyone who is basing a bet on the Ravens because their opponents are 0-9, we shouldn't. Rodney Barton, I love you, my man. This is all of us just working together, improving every day. And that's what we do here. Okay, and Nutflush Allen is on the San Francisco Giants team total over. Okay, so we move on to college football. I got off to a very, very good start, and then it's been a rough couple weeks. So I've only made 2 moves, and the market's gone against me in the Liberty spot. I'm on Liberty money line first half and full game. I really think that they bounce back after what happened to them in Syracuse, and having another spot in a foreign area where they are going to have to where Willis is going to have to make play changes with hand signals. And I expect him to be much better at it here. So I'm very close to adding Rutgers first half against Ohio State at plus 7.5. I'm so close to betting it. I almost bet it this morning. I just want to do a little bit more work on it before I pull the trigger. And then the only other look so far for me is I'm on the Ohio Akron over 55. Over 55. Billy Friedrich on Blues to win the Central plus 1,200. I can't wait till NHL's back. Okay, let's move on to this spot. Steve Priest talking about past scores in Virginia, Miami. 7:30 p.m. Cavaliers, Hurricanes, Hard Rock Stadium in Miami Gardens, Florida. We can't base this on scores between these two teams in the past. Miami won 19-14 last year, 17-9 in 2019, and Virginia won 16-13 in 2018. Jared Nichols play of the year is Browns -2. God, I hope you're right, Jared Nichols. All my futures are all over them. And Bebsy's already bet the Browns first half and full game. So I hope you're right. The average score of Miami Hurricanes this year is 31-26. The average score of Virginia Cavalier games this year is 35-28. So let's not get caught up in the scores the last few years, because this is a very different roster and their defenses just aren't good. Let's start with the market, and then we'll move into the cash, and then we'll break down how we want to bet it. And I've not moved on this game as of yet. Come on. All right, sorry. This market's taking a little while here. Let me just move over to today. Will today do it for me? Okay, here we go. So Virginia opening up is 3.5-point dogs. They're now 5.5-point dogs. This total opened up at 62 and hasn't moved. There's been a 4-cent move from the opening line. At one point yesterday, it went up to 63 and then back to 62. Now let's move over to the cash flow in this spot. 6,000 tickets in. 6,002 tickets in. On the spread, 51% of the tickets on Miami, 52% of the cash. That's about as close as any game we've talked about all year, a marquee game. Then we have 62% of the tickets on the over and 56% of the cash on the under. So clearly there are some big bets that have been made on the under, and it looks like that's where the sharp money lies. Virginia's coming off of back-to-back 20-point losses. The first was 59-39 at North Carolina. They were 7.5-point dogs in that spot. They put up 577 yards, but they allowed 699 yards and 35 first downs. Then came last week's 37-17 loss at home to Wake Forest. They were 3.5-point favorites in the game. They out-yarded Wake 506 to 473. They got 7 more first downs than Wake, but when push came to shove and they needed a stop, their defense couldn't provide one. Brennan Armstrong is averaging 426 yards passing a game. If he's capable of finishing around that number, only 7 quarterbacks in FBS history have ever averaged more in a season. It's just a completely different Armstrong. Last year, he's pretty much throwing as many yards in 4 games as he did all of last season. He's 400 yards away. That last year he threw for 2,117 yards. He's already thrown for 1,706. He's thrown for at least 300 yards in every game this year. Let's move on to the Hurricanes, and thank you for the kind words. Banana grapes, my guy. Ryan Bottinelli says at plus 5.5, they're gifting us. Got to take Virginia. Allison says King is a terrible QB. I don't agree with that, but I don't think you're going to need to do we have confirmation that Derek King is going to be in the lineup? Do we have confirmation that Derek King is starting? Derek King's injured shoulder is the biggest piece to this puzzle. Do we have any new information that's come in the last hour? Let's just see if we have any. And nothing. We have none of the latest information. G. Martinez says King's gotten worse as a 6th-year quarterback. Sean Thompson saying King is hurt. Does anybody have any of the latest information on Derek King and Derek King? Okay. So Tyler Van Dyke, Jake Garcia were in the lineup starting in a 69-0 win over Central Connecticut State. Who cares? 739 yards of offense. Who cares? They were 46-point favorites. They went 69-0. 2 weeks ago, they lost 38-17 at home to Michigan State as 7-point favorites. They lost the turnover battle 4-0, and it cost them mightily. Michigan State did not look as good the next week. Betstradamus says 2 random ACC teams. I'll take the points in this case. And Allison says if he is not starting, I'll take Miami. So one thing for Miami is that Jalen Knighton is going to make a season debut. He served a 4-game suspension. It was a team-led suspension. And he's a dual threat. He can run and he can catch. He's a dangerous running back who will help this offense very, very much. But it's still going to be Tyler Van Dyke or Jake Garcia, possibly. And it doesn't matter what the other games were, how low scoring they were. It is so hard to take an under in this football game. G. Martinez says not confirmed, but it is improving. It is so hard to take an under in this game. But you have to keep that Cavaliers offense off the field, and you have to beat down this Cavaliers defense. And just looking at the cash in this game with 62 tickets on the over, but 44. I wish it was more drastic. And one thing I believe is if you do like or have interest in the under, wait. And I tend to agree that the plus 5.5 is probably where you want to be. But why would there be a 2-point market move if the tickets are even? This is a very tricky spot. Puzzler says even if King does play, which I doubt, he won't be effective. A separated shoulder is weak for weeks. Big Joe Betts says cashing in on Virginia. Great that Big Joe Betts rocking with us. Corenzo Lanier says Canes smash and he's on the over. At this point, I can't. No. At this point, the only thing I would have some interest in is the under. And I'm going, if I did want to move on that, I would wait for the public to move it on up. I'm just hesitant in trusting the Cavaliers on the road. So I'm going to keep an eye on this market. It does feel like the sharp money is on the under. How long did it last at 63? Let's just see this again. Over at Pinnacle, it was 63 for a long time. It was at 63 for, 36 hours. Ross Pitt says Virginia O-line is trash. Okay, so from a game strategy point of view, it's quite clear how to win this game. You just slowly beat down on Virginia's defense and keep them on the field and just pummel them. You don't need to go. I mean, sure, some big plays can be in the arsenal, but the idea would be pummel, and keep the offense on the sidelines. If that's the case, then I think that the under can be in play. And if you look at Virginia only being able to put up 17 points at home to Wake Forest, you have an idea from what Wake did to them. You have a game plan that you just got to follow. Craig Wood says Virginia's strength is the passing game. Miami's weakness is their secondary. Miami's strength is the running game. Virginia's bad run D. We know that the plan will be for Miami to run the ball down Virginia's throat, which does lead me to think that the under could be in play. But then you're right, Craig Wood saying then you have this fast-acting Virginia Cavalier offense that's just going to hurt them. All right, this is a tricky spot here without not knowing who's going to be starting at quarterback at this point. I know that our man Babano will be hammering this game on his football show that comes right after this. Sean Thompson says I'll pass all over Miami. Okay, let's move on to NFL. We move on to NFL. Jacksonville Jaguars at Cincinnati Bengals. Coming off a tough week in NFL, but still very strong numbers on the year. Let's pull that up right here. On the year, I'm 29-19, hitting at 60.4%, up 7.7 units, ROI plus 16.04%, average line minus 111, and I'm all over this. And Michael O'Brien says, I don't think Miami's strength is running. I think it's NFL talent at skill positions and weak quarterback. Okay. I'm heavily invested in this game, and when I say that on a Thursday night, I fear the worst. Let's talk about it here. First off, market moving towards Jacksonville. And Jacksonville opened up at plus 7.5 at minus 105. And within 10 hours, they were minus 115 at the plus 7.5. So the early money, which can be concluded as sharp money, went in on Jacksonville. Then on Tuesday, at about 5 o'clock, money started coming in on the Bengals. So Pinnacle moved the line accordingly. That didn't last for very long. And over the last 12 to 24 hours, the Pinnacle market has been moving towards Jacksonville. Professor Chris says that's just because of the number. Allison moving the Jags to plus 9. G. Martinez says no reason to back Jacksonville. Okay. So let's move over to the money in this spot. 27,375 tickets in. On the spread, 75% of the tickets are on the Bengals, 70% of the cash, and we see no movement. Then we have 44% of tickets on the under and 68% of cash on the under, and that makes me very uncomfortable. Very, very uncomfortable. All right. Jacksonville will start coming in off their 18th straight loss, 31-19 setback at home to Arizona. Jacksonville led 19-10 after James Robinson 4-yard touchdown run in the third quarter. Agnew had that 109-yard missed field goal return. Agnew, the last 2 weeks, Jacksonville has had a special teams touchdown and still hasn't come close to covering. Trevor Lawrence ran for 27 yards on the ground from 6 carries, and the freshest look is Trevor Lawrence over 14.5 rush yards at minus 115, and this number is being bet up. The freshest look. How is my freshest look? He also fumbled the ball twice. He lost both of them. He's not to be trusted. He has 9 turnovers in 3 games. He's on pace to throw 40 interceptions. And this is a huge, huge opportunity for him with all eyes on him on a Thursday night. Marvin Jones looks very good. The Jags are moving the ball fine on the ground. Robinson, 15 of 88 last week. Miles Jack's all over the field, but the Jags can't get any pressure. And what's going to happen to the Jags if they can't get any pressure? Burrow's going to eat them up. They got no sacks on Kyler Murray and hit him once last week. Josh Lambo is not to be trusted, even with extra points. He missed 2 extra points on Sunday. He missed 2 field goals the week before. Professor Chris says, I cannot bet this game. Bengals should win, but laying a TD with them isn't valuable for me. Johnny K's on the Jags money line. And Millsy is on Jones plus 5.5 receptions at plus 125. Millsy here is moving on Jones over plus 5.5 receptions plus 125. Rodney Barton says Jacksonville hasn't won a road game since 2019. Okay. Bengals are coming off an easy 24-10 win at Pittsburgh. It was their first win in Pittsburgh since 2015, but it wasn't an all eyes on them situation, which is why I think that they're going to show out tonight. Burrow, 14 of 18 for 172 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick, and he was in complete control. He wasn't taking risks. Trevor Lawrence is not in complete control. Joe Burrow is in complete control right now, and Mixon's a monster, 18 rushes for 90 yards. The offensive line is very strong right now for the Bengals, and we haven't said that in how long? They allowed 0 sacks, and Burrow didn't even get hit. TC saying Bengals defensive prop to score. Francis is saying Burrow's under completions and Bengals -4 first half for me. And Craig Wood said, isn't Lambo out for personal reasons? Let's get that up right now. Is Lambo really out for personal reasons? I didn't know that. All right, let's get this up right now. The Foshizzle Ixnizzle play of the day is Bengals -4, first half -115. That is a look that I'm already on. I love it. And now, look, I know this is a very public play, and we know what happens generally to public plays is you lose in the long run. Jesse Bates is out. We know that Awuzie and Suafilo are out or doubtful. T. Higgins won't be in the lineup, but it's going to be the Jamar Chase show. Let's move over to Jacksonville's situation here. And Lambeau Personal will not play in Thursday's game. Wow, that's a big deal. We knew that Roy Robertson Harris is going to be out of the lineup. They've moved Tavon Austin to the injured reserve. Trey Herndon, cornerback, out as well. Hurts their secondary. Slats, I'm not going to make it tricky here in Survivor. I'm just going to take the Bills, sit back, and I'm not going to do anything exciting early in this pool. Rodney Barnes said this is a 2020 NCAA National Championship matchup. Burrow might destroy them again. Brady says, what pass rushers did Pittsburgh have last week? Be careful. We're laying 7.5 on that Bengals head coach. You got balls the size of basketballs to lay 7.5 on that Bengals head coach. Big balls. And then Millsy says, we traded our best cornerback to Carolina. CJ moved to Carolina. Ixnizzle said this is not a letdown spot for the Bengals. This is a smash spot. The season is young. One of the big things to me when I moved on the Bengals was defining that win against the Steelers as just a good win, not a season-defining win. And that's why I think they really have an opportunity to show out here on Thursday night. Andrew G says the urban liar will set them up for failure. And Sean Thompson says bigger balls betting on Jags with zero talent and leadership. Well, at least Meyer's gone back to Robinson as RB1. Millsy's on the Bengals team total over 27.5. Let's take a look at this total. And this total makes me a little uncomfortable. I got in on, what's the number I got in with? I got in at 46, and I'm nervous about this. The way I played it out in my head was these two young quarterbacks with all the spotlight on them going for deep plays. And the longer I capped it, I thought, why would you bother doing that? Although you can take advantage of this secondary. If I look back, if I could go back, I would expect the Bengals to take advantage in the first half and go for scores in the first half and then kind of run the ball down their throat in the second half. But this over keeps getting bet at Pinnacle, and they've moved the over to -110. When they moved it from 45.5 to 46.5 on Tuesday at 10 p.m., the initial money that came in after about 12 hours was on the under. The under came in, and it hit a peak at 1:27 p.m. where they were going to move it back to 45.5. That the 46 over 46 was at plus 105. Since then, it's just been money coming in on the over, and maybe that's public money. Dommy Gunn says, how does Jacksonville score 21 points? Elliot V in the house. Fanatical Jim says, Jags got into the red zone a bunch against the Cards. Andrew G says, these Jags corners will get touched many times by chasing the boys. Professor Chris says, rookie coaches are poor on Thursday night too, especially on the road. Sean Thompson says, Mixon owns this game. Billy Friedrich says, Jacksonville team total is at 17.5, under. I'm trying so hard to stay away from player props, and I've made 3 this year. But you have to think that the Jaguars are going to be in a nickel and dime packages throughout this contest, and it will give an opportunity for Mixon to go over the 88.5 yards. But 88.5 yards is a very high total. Sean Thompson said they won't even need Burrow to win this by 17. And Professor Chris says, I'm definitely getting under in this game too. Lawrence total rush yards have moved up to 16.5. Again, we have the couple plays here. The freshest look is Lawrence over 14.5 rush yards at minus 115. We have the faux schnizzle play of the day. That's on the Bengals first half, minus 4. And I am on the Bengals first half, minus 4, full game, minus 7.5, and the over 46. And I'm nervous about the total the most at this point. Kevin Riley's on Joe Mixon under 84.5 rush yards. It's at 88.5 at Bet 365. Kev, if you haven't bet that yet, I would wait because I see that number going up. Andrew sees a Bengals 27, Jaguars 17 final score. And Alex H says only play on this game is a Bengals teaser. Can't trust the Jaguars with nearly 20 consecutive losses. Not really ready to lay a TD with the Bengals squad. Look, there's a vividness bias on this Bengals team that nobody wants to lay a big number with the Bengals. And maybe I'm in a very public spot, and that's a very vulnerable spot, saying that the Bengals show out here on Thursday night. We shall see. Ken Peacock says the NFL wants an exciting product to get TV views. I think they're going to get it tonight. I think this is going to be a fun game. I think it's going to be a fun game for all of us. Sean Thompson says, I'm serious. They will run Mixon on that Swiss sandwich defense. Pass or play action pass, Burrow touchdown over and over and over. Chandler Lake on Jamar Chase over 24.5 longest reception seems the safest play so far with the Jags secondary. With T. Higgins out, you might see extra attention on Chase. Andrew G says Bengals over 2.5 touchdowns is a nice look. I want to smash it. All right, in 3 minutes, we have Ian Cameron's Football Frenzy live on this channel. So he's going to be going over this game heavy. Again, I've doubled up on the Bengals first half and full game, and I'm on the over. It's very public. It's very public. All right, let's do a quick review of action. Spreadsheet play of the days are the Angels and the Boston Red Sox. The Taint play of the day is Detroit, Minnesota, first 5 under 4.5. Taint is 10-2 on Tigers plays, and I'm also on that first 5 under 4.5. I'm adding Cubs first 5. That's the only addition to this card I'm making for sure, but I understand with Jose Seje play of the day on the Indians first 5 minus a half why he's on that look. I get it. Mets first 5 minus a half and minus 125. I'm on. And the only other look I'm on is Dodgers minus 1, first 5 at minus 114. So, Dami Gunrichi, we love you. And then I'm interested in the under in Virginia, Miami, but it's probably a crazy bet to make. And I'm interested in it. And I want to see if it goes up, if public money hammers this over, which I expect. And then I've got 3 looks on the big NFL game. Thank you guys so much for being us. We have an absolutely packed Friday show as always. It's absolutely jam-packed. I don't know how we're going to fit it all in. And Noli Knows will be joining us. Big Smooth. Thank you. Yay Area, TC, Sean Thompson, G. Martinez, Brandon Craig Wood, Tommy Gunn Ricci, Kev Riley, Elliot V, Professor Chris, Danzo, Kem Peacock, Chandler Lake. Thank you guys all so much for rolling with us. Top Set, get better, get home. Sending you love and our thoughts. We have no show without you guys in the chat. So thank you so much for your insights, your humor. Let's have a day today. Let's have a day today. On behalf of Jose Bouquet, Jeff Slaughter, all of us here on Pub Sports Radio. Let's get fucking paid today. Leche. Hey, those bookmakers! Shit.